Hi, it's Ben here and welcome back to my music room for this video on stress. When I think about stress, I find it helpful to understand what it's doing to our body, and that helps me to understand why it's important to learn to regulate strong feelings. Our internal response to stress is controlled by our autonomic nervous system. Like the name suggests, it works automatically, and most of the time we can't even tell that it's working. The autonomic nervous system, or the ANS, has two almost opposite sides: the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. These are always working with each other to keep us alive and well. This is called homeostasis. They contribute to our overall level of alertness and regulate really important functions like our breathing and our heart rate. The first side of the ANS is our sympathetic nervous system. This is the side that responds to distress, and it is designed to activate quickly so we can respond instantaneously to life-threatening situations. This is often referred to as our fight or flight response. The sympathetic nervous system primes our body for action in case we need to fight for our life or flee from danger. To do this, our body releases some chemicals. Most notably is adrenaline, known as epinephrine or norepinephrine, and cortisol. It borrows energy from our digestive and our immune systems to increase our heart rate and our lung capacity. It sharpens our senses and increases blood flow to our big muscle groups. It triggers our liver to start producing a sugar-like substance to give us a quick burst of energy, kind of like drinking an energy drink. When this happens, the middle part of your brain, or your midbrain, has kind of taken over. The midbrain is essential, but it's not so good at thinking things through, communicating, or managing complex tasks. For example, doing schoolwork or maintaining relationships. This is why we sometimes say and do things we later regret when our sympathetic nervous system has taken over. The other side of the ANS is the parasympathetic nervous system. This side is more about relaxing, healing, and eating. This side is often referred to as rest and digest. The parasympathetic nervous system steadies our heart rate and slows our breathing, diverts blood flow back towards our digestive system. It triggers the liver to stop producing glucose and to start producing bile. It fires up our immune system to maximum capacity to help us fight off infections. When our ANS is leaning more towards our parasympathetic nervous system, the part of the brain that is good at communicating, problem solving, and learning becomes more dominant, which is perfect, especially for remote learning or even just having a calm and relaxed home environment. Sometimes, things that aren't really life-threatening can trigger our sympathetic nervous system, driving our brain and our body into overdrive when the threat isn't necessarily something that we need to flee from or fight off. This can be stressing about completing work, paying bills, meeting deadlines, or worrying about a virus that's making us stay at home. When our sympathetic nervous system is running in overdrive, it can make us feel anxious and tearful. It can make it difficult to sleep. It can make us feel run down and exhausted. And it can cause problems with our relationships and our decision making. Luckily, we are not completely helpless when it comes to managing our autonomic nervous system. There are things that we can do, which are often referred to as regulating, that can help to restore balance or homeostasis to our bodies. Here is a list of things you might notice when your sympathetic nervous system has taken over. Here are my top tips for tipping the balance of your ANS towards your parasympathetic nervous system. Manually slow your breathing and your heart rate by lying on the floor and taking some deep, slow breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose for 5 seconds. Hold the breath and then slowly exhale through your mouth. I like to do this while listening to some calming music. My next tip is to do something fun that requires a bit of problem solving. Your midbrain is quite impulsive, so maybe try doing something that requires you to control your impulses. This will divert attention away from your midbrain to the areas that are more helpful in times like these. Some great fun examples include playing Jenga, chess, or card games like Uno or Go Fish. Last but not least, probably the greatest trick you have up your sleeve is actually the people in your house. If you are overwhelmed, anxious, or feeling like your feelings are getting the better of you, nothing will help like a cuddle with your parents or carers, or even your favourite pet or soft toy. Don't forget, everyone is different and we all have strategies for regulation that work better for us as individuals. Ask the adults in your house what works for them and how they calm themselves when they're feeling overwhelmed by strong feelings. Feel free to leave me a comment to tell me what works for you and what makes you feel better. Well, that's all today. I hope this has been helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.